Okay, so let us start our t-shirt project by opening up Adobe Photoshop. Now I think the easiest way to find it is just to go to your start and type in Photoshop. That's going to bring up Photoshop. I click on the 64-bit version. And again, it's a powerful program. It'll take a little while to load, but we're loading. Alright, so my screen looks like this. Yours might look a little different depending on your settings. But let's start a new project here. We'll call it t-shirt. And this right here, the width and the height, we want to make it resemble a piece of paper, which is 11.5 by 8. And depending if you want it to like be the tall way or the long way, it really depends on your graphic. I know for me, I've got a picture of the school and it's wider than it is taller. So I'm going to do like this. We can switch it later, but this is mine. So that is essentially a piece of paper, which we're going to print out of the printer. And this is again what I see. To make your vision look like mine or your layout, I have my layers here and my history here. You go to Window and find, again, history should be clicked and layers has to be clicked. You have to see your history and your layers. Brushes I don't care about, but layers is important and history is important. So what you've got to do next is find a couple images. I don't care what you're doing, but some kind of collage. You want to add a couple pictures together. You want to do some text. You need to open whatever image you want to do first. I've chosen two images. The first is going to be a picture of Jockey Hollow. You can get these pictures off the internet. You can take them from your phone and email to yourselves. But I'm going to do my two, which is Jockey Hollow and my beautiful self. Alright, so my goal is I'm going to put my picture in front of Jockey Hollow School. Now, again, this is the Layers tab. And notice, if I try to move my photo or do anything to this photo, it's locked. So you've got to double click in your layer, and this kind of unlocks your layer. So now I can do whatever I want. And we have to do the same for here. So I'm going to double click on my layer for this, and now I can move around the picture. So we just unlocked our two pictures that we're going to be playing with. And I'm going to drag this picture by clicking on it and dragging it over, dragging, and let go. Now, this picture is really small, so we got to make it a wee bit bigger. So I'm going to press delete on this. I want to get it pretty close to full size. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the image to image size. Now under image size, we're restricted by pixels, right? But if we go under the document size, then we could change that to pretty close to our piece of paper. So again, our width, how wide our paper is, it's going to be 11, about 11 inches, right? And it's locked the height to 7 inches, but that's to make it look normal, right? So this is pretty close. I'm going to drag it over again by clicking and dragging and dropping. And it's close. Let's do that final little bit by hitting Control T on your keyboard. Now you might be familiar with this. Again, Control T will enable us to transform the photo size, and we'll drag it out to the full piece of paper. Great. Now the next step is a little trickier. This is the photo I want, and if I drag it over to here, and I'll drop it, you'll see this big border right around my picture because it was taken inside this classroom. So what we need to do is need to get rid of that background. I only want my face, right? So the quick way to do this, the quickest way, is we're going to cut this off using a layer mask and a trim. So the first step is using a layer mask. So this little button down here, it's called Add Layer Mask. It should make your layer kind of look like this, where we're putting like a clear transparency over my face, essentially. Now we're going to go to the Quick Selection tool. And the Quick Selection tool, we're going to click all around my face, and it knows one object from another by the color. So it picked up my face, it picked up my t-shirt color fine, but my hair got kind of lost. So I'm going to get my hair back into this cutting. And now the plan is, if you saw me scrolling, if you can't scroll, go to Edit, Preferences, General, and then Zoom with Scroll Wheel. Scroll Wheel. That enables you to kind of zoom into the picture really close like I'm doing right now. You can get uncomfortably close. So now I'm going to kind of edit my photo a little bit. I'm holding down the Alt key on the keyboard, and this is going to push away our selection essentially. You can change the size of your brush. I want to make it a little bigger. Again, I'm holding down Alt and I'm pushing it back so my hair is picked up. Again, you can zoom in super close. My eye over here a little bit. Okay. What else? My shirt. Again, I'm gonna hold down the Alt key. Oh no, that's the plus key. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going around. It sometimes takes a little while, especially if you're wearing like a black shirt and you're in a black background. It's gonna automatically delete your shirt. So now's the tricky part. We're going to go to the paint bucket tool. It may look like this, the gradient tool, but I right click on it and we get to the paint bucket. I'm going to use the black selection and I'm going to block it out. Now the black will actually erase the background, right? Now I could just grab my head. We've erased the background using the paint bucket. And I'm going to drag my head out and I'm going to place it right here. Now obviously my shoulder, let's move it over there. Looks like that. Cool? Alright. The final thing when we're making our t-shirts, and again we could change our size if I'm a little too big. Again, I hit Control T to change the size of my picture. And the final thing is, that looks about right. When we print this out and we put it on our t-shirt, it's got to be a mirror image. So if you're very particular on how it looks, especially if you have text, you've got to mirror your image. So flop it or flip it or flip flop it. So to do that, I'm going to link these 3 layers. So I'm holding down, I think either Shift or Control, and I'm going 1, 2, 3, and I'm hitting this chain link. Now they're all connected, right? I can't move the picture, they're all like anchored in, right? Alright, now the next step is we are going to flip our image. So go to Image, Image Rotation, and flip Canvas horizontal. This is gonna flip the image over, and now when I print it out, it's gonna be flipped the other way. So it's a little confusing. It'll make sense though when we actually put it on your shirt. I'm gonna save my project. Of course, always important. We'll save it wherever you want. You should probably put it in your H drive. I think you should have a Photoshop folder. If not, just dump it anywhere you're gonna remember. Call it t-shirt, bam. Now we're gonna print. Pay attention with printing, okay? Because you need to do a couple things. First, we've got to make sure we're under the right view. This is landscape, and we want portrait, or vice versa. So that'll fit on a piece of paper perfectly. You've got to go to the HP Business Jet. However, this is our color printer. It's only hooked up to my computer, so you'll have to send me a copy. Anyways, great job. Awesome. Rock on. See you later.